Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias. I want to expand on something that I said in a previous video today, because previously I said that now that the voting for the Bally Awards are over, and I can't really influence the results by saying this, I think that the Bandage Knives Stitch V2 is my Balisong of the year. And I kind of wanted to expand on that in this video and tell you kind of what brought us from my initial unboxing, where I was kind of so-so on this thing, to now this being probably my favorite Balisong that I have received this year. I will say that this very well could just be the fact that this is probably the Balisong that I have received and tried this year the most. Like, out of everything else that I have tried this year, this is the one that I have spent the most time on. So that very well could be the reason that I like it the most. But what really cemented it for me was trying out the Opus V2 recently. Ted sent out his Opus V2 for me to check out. I actually still have it. It's over on my desk in one of the stands. And I'll send it all back to Ted when I am finished up with the zippy stuff over here, which I am really still trying to learn about there. But trying out that Opus and realizing, hey, I really like how this flips. You know, I flipped it for 2 or 3 days where it was pretty much the only thing that I flipped. It was the thing that was next to me on my desk. And then when I finally had finished making that video, I was like, wow, dang, I really, really like the Opus V2. It flips great. I like how it carries momentum. I like how the blade is weighted, all this stuff. And then I brought back out my normal collection, the things that are usually on my desk. You know, my Kraken trainer, the Bandage Stitch V2, the what was the other one? The Slift T, things like that, the Seraph. Just to, you know, like get really a feel for how it flipped. Now that I was used to flipping the Opus, how would the rest of my Balisongs feel? And the one that just consistently floored me was the Stitch V2. I would go back to the Opus and I would say, oh no, I prefer the Opus. And then I would flip the Stitch again and I'd be like, oh no, wait, I actually really like the Stitch. I might not prefer it, but the fact that it is like less than half the price and I still like it that much, that's crazy. That's really, really cool. And don't get me wrong, the Opus V2 is amazing and absolutely worth the price that they're asking for it. But what it really came down to was the fact that I was flipping the Opus thinking, wow, this is one of my favorite Balisongs ever. And then going back to the Stitch and going, wow, this thing is really good. I almost kind of prefer the way that I have the balance set up on this over the Opus. Especially with the Kukri blade, the way that it helps the blade carry and maintain momentum, it feels really, really awesome. I like it a lot. So it just kind of turned into a Balisong, especially thanks to the weights that I added. It just kind of helped it really come into its own in my collection, and combined with the fact that it just felt so good compared to the Opus V2, it made me question which one I liked better so much. And just the fact that I really do love the Kukri blade. I love the design, the color, the ergonomics. I really do love everything about this, and I have been flipping it just constantly since I got it, and it always just feels so good. The more that I've gotten used to it, the better and better and better that it has felt. And that's kind of the beauty of cheaper Balisongs. I know the Stitch isn't cheap, but when we're talking about comparing it to the Opus V2 and the Seraph of all of those things, you would kind of expect that flipping something more expensive like that would just kind of kill any interest that you had in something that was cheaper. I thought that was going to happen with my collection when I went to my first Blade show. My most expensive Balisong was my Squid Trainer. So I thought, oh, I'm going to try a Tsunami, and then suddenly the Squid Trainer is going to feel awful to me. And the thing that I was so amazed and just really, really happy to find out was that really isn't the case at all. More expensive Balisongs don't kill cheaper Balisongs simply for the fact that they're more expensive. These less expensive Balisongs can genuinely flip with the best of them. What you're really paying for, and I've said this a lot, is quality, materials, machining, stuff like that. You're paying for... Actually, I watched Will's video on the Pancetta video recently, where he went to the store in Arizona where they sell a lot of Balisongs. And something that I believe Lance said in that video was, you're not paying for performance, you're paying for time, the time invested into these Balisongs. And I think that that is ultimately really true, where those Balisongs are certainly worth it. But they just don't invalidate the existence of a cheaper Balisong in your collection. And through learning that lesson over and over again, and most recently with the Stitch V2 versus the Opus V2, I just think that I have to give the Stitch V2 my Balisong of the Year award. Now, the next question is, what is your Balisong of the Year? And I don't necessarily want to know in the comments, because the Bally Awards are fast approaching. I am thinking tentatively, I'm putting this at the end of the video because this is subject to change. I don't have it fully, I don't have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, but I think it's going to be December 28th at 7 p.m. You heard it here first. Don't hold your breath. I'll make a more official announcement when I actually have a date locked down. But I think that that is going to be when we find out what you guys' Balisong of the Year is. Until then, I'm going to keep flipping my Stitch V2 because I don't know, it just fits. It fits into my flow and my hand, and I just enjoy flipping it lately. So I'm going to keep doing it. Huge thank you to you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.